animations, we will be making sense of the show mouse coordinates. How do we get something like that working on Codepen? So right now I'm browsing through Google Classroom. I'm going to pull up the Penguin assignment because it has some handy dandy code for us to borrow here. So under assignment 2, there was some starter code. The trouble is some of you got started on your animal already, in which case you were trying to add this in. And if you started the assignment a little later, copy and paste this code into Codepen, maybe you wouldn't have come up with the problems that I will soon describe. So right now we're in the former case, where you started something, kind of like what I did. Remember the eye of Sauron from Game Lab? We translated it over. It looks like this. Hooray. It runs, and it has a blue iris. So now, let's say when I move my mouse over, I don't currently see the coordinates, and I want that tool to kind of help me out when drawing all these complicated shapes. So over here, I'm going to borrow this code. So I'm copying, pasting this. Show mouse coordinates is a function. It's a function that I made. It's not built into p5.js, so you won't find it in the reference. And so it does a couple things. Functions right now are like shortcuts, and you can make your own. You'll see this idea a little later in this animation unit. So reminder of your code, you have the setup part. This code just runs once, and so far you have a canvas, and ideally you had a background to change your color. Inside your draw, this is where most of your development has been going, where you add in lines of code to see different output. And right after draw, notice that you have to have it balanced with these little squiggly brackets, or braces, people call them. I'm pasting in that function, show mouse coordinates, right after the draw function. Okay, and what does it do? It gets me to display some text that matches the mouse coordinate. Let's see, after pasting that, I'm going to click run. And so far, oh, look, there's no mouse coordinates. There's no number over here. That's because, just like before, I didn't tell my program to use this function, show mouse coordinates. Just like the ellipse function, it's not going to draw an ellipse to the screen unless I use that line. I say ellipse, blah, 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 blah. This is where you draw it. So right now, let's try adding show mouse coordinates at the very beginning of draw. Show mouse coordinates. At this point, you should have noticed that capitalization matters, and if I'm off with my spelling, like coordinate versus coordinates, with an S at the end, it may not work. So it looks like this is okay. That's the name matches. So now that I've used the function, I should be able to see something. Great. You're like, Mr. Chan, that's not useful at all. Help, right? Or maybe it is. It's a coloring program now, right? With numbers. I'm coloring in my eye. That's not as I intended this program to be. They're like, oh, that's not useful. I don't see the numbers. A very common issue that multiple people have asked me about. Let's shed some light on this. Okay, great. So what's happening here? Right now, let's walk through this step by step. Okay, we're in the draw function. So the very first thing the computer does is wherever your mouse is, even if it's off the screen, it calculates what that coordinate is. This would be like pixel 900 for the x and maybe 100 for the y. Although it's off the screen, it's still being calculated. It's trying to be displayed. And if I move it back right here, that's when you start to see some evidence that text is being displayed. It's being displayed red because down here in the function, R, that's the first value in fill, is 255. The other G and B values, green and blue, are 0, so that's why it's red colored. Text size is 16, great. And then mouse X, mouse Y, it's doing its job. Cool. Then we walk through our draw function. After the coordinates are drawn, the outer eye is drawn, the inner iris is drawn, and then that weird oval is drawn down here. And then it repeats, right? The text is being drawn off to the corner, and then it goes back. And that's the key idea that you'll need to utilize in animations. The draw function happens again and again and again. And that's why you see all these numbers overlapping each other. They're being recalculated every single time, and that's why we can't make out the numbers, because as soon as I move like 1 pixel over, however fast the screen refreshes, new text gets displayed, and we don't want that. So instead, one way to get kind of like a change, just seeing animations, is drawing the background over, kind of like a little flip book, where you turn the page and then have another white background. Okay, now when I save and I click run, the white background gets drawn first, and now when I move things, those previous numbers are covered up. By what? The background. Because the first thing you do is draw the background, then you show your mouse coordinates. I draw my corresponding circles, I draw my Eye of Sauron text, and then immediately the next iteration, the next time the draw function happens, you draw again, clean background, turn the page. And that's why now you can see pretty little numbers instead of a bunch of red, like, overlapping text. Does that make sense? The draw function key idea, it happens again and again and again. Even though before, in your animal, in your Olympic rings, in your national flag, you didn't really see it, it was. It just overlaps each other again and again. So it didn't look like anything was moving. And now, when your mouse coordinate moves, you're seeing like a cause and effect thing, or an if then. If my mouse moves, then these numbers change, right? So please add these lines if you want mouse coordinates to help you. Have a background be the very first thing, then show your mouse coordinates, and then everything else from your animal code goes afterwards. Play around with the order. I highly encourage that. If you see something unexpected, try to make sense of it, and you will learn a lot more from this class than me just telling you like what's going on. Okay? You will see these ideas again when we start animations, okay? The draw loop being repeated over and over again is a key idea.